We are here in the Bethlehem Public Library on March 13th, 2025, once again as part of the Bethlehem Oral History Project. And today we are speaking with Marion Zupan Zrelak, who is a resident of Selkirk, New York, longtime resident. And Marion, we're so happy that you're here and able to talk with us and tell us a little bit about your life and times. So, if you will, can you just talk a little bit about when and where you were born?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Wappingers Falls, New York, and prior.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when was that?
April 16, 1929.
Okay. And your parents, can you talk a little bit about them,
Yeah.
where they came from?
My father came, both of them came from Croatia now. It was Austria-Hungary at one time, and then it became Yugoslavia, and now it's Croatia. Yeah.
Okay. So they
And-
both came from Croatia.
Yeah. He was born 1895 on March 12th, so his 130th birthday would have been yesterday.
Wow. And your mother, she was also from Croatia?
My mother also came from the same village, but like 10 years later.
Okay. So you were born, you said, in Wappingers Falls. How did the family get from, or let's say your father at least, get from Croatia to the United States?
Well, he worked for Walsh Construction Company, and they were involved not only with highways, but with railways and buildings and all that. And so they traveled a lot. And there were 4 of us in the family, and I was born in Wappingers, and then 2 brothers were born in Watertown and Rochester, and my sister was born in Selkirk.
Okay. So that your father
He traveled a lot with
your
the
father
company.
moved with where the projects were,
Mhm,
pretty much,
mhm.
right? Okay. How did your parents meet? How did your parents meet? How did they come to know each
Oh,
other?
they were in the same village.
Okay.
Everybody knew everybody else,
Okay.
so that,
They came over together?
no. My father came over first at age 18, and after 10 years in America, he sent for my mother, because he knew the family, and they got married.
Okay. So did they know each other before
Yeah,
he
they
sent?
knew each other.
Okay. Small village in Croatia then, huh?
Yeah, very small.
Yeah. Did you ever get a chance to go back there at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Talk
Once.
about that a little bit.
Well, my brother and I had heard so many stories about the old country, so to speak, and so we decided one day we're going to go to Croatia. And after a few days there, my brother said to me, "I don't think we'll ever live here, do we?" And I said no. But it was a beautiful visit. The countryside is excellent.
Yeah.
And of course, the Adriatic
The
Sea
coastline,
is right
yeah, sure.
nearby, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful. But they don't have all the freedoms we do.
Yeah. Okay, so your parents married here in the United States?
Mhm.
Okay. And your father worked for this construction company and moved around. How did the family eventually settle in South Bethlehem?
Yeah,
Or in Selkirk.
after 2 years of marriage, they were traveling so much that my mother wanted to stay put. So in 1924, they got married in 22. In 1924, they settled in Selkirk, and it had a dirt road, and the only neighbors were the Becker homestead down the street, and that's where they were.
Okay. Do you have any inkling as to why they chose South Bethlehem to settle down?
I really don't know.
Okay.
There were no neighbors, nothing at the
Uh-huh.
time, and so my father and his brother-in-law built houses next door to each other. And guess what? They only paid $2,200 for the house, completely built by Albany Lumber Company.
Uh-huh. But it sounds like your father was actually built with his own 2 hands the homes, right? And several other houses on that street as well, I think?
There was only one for the time being, and then as time went by, houses were being built, yeah.
Okay. are those houses still in existence? Are they still down there?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that,
Mhm.
good quality building construction then, huh?
Mhm.
Okay. Talk a little bit about, your childhood. What was your childhood like down
I
there?
had a really nice childhood. For the first 3 years of my life, we walked to school. There was no bus at that time. And between my father and one of the neighbors, in the bad weather, they would take us to school and back. And so one day my father went to the school board and said, we're growing here and we need a bus. And the next year we got a bus.
Okay,
So for 3 years I walked to school 2 miles a day.
wow. And so what school would that have been?
Selkirk Elementary.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. So you went to Selkirk Elementary, and where did you move on to after elementary school?
To Ravina Queeman's Selkirk High School.
Okay, all right. What other things did you, growing up down there in Selkirk, what was the neighborhood like? What were some of the friends and you know,
Well,
classmates you had?
we played a lot together because, we were all alone, and they had a YMCA down below us, about, just about a couple of blocks, and they allowed us to play ball and do a lot of activities there. And so we played a lot in my own house.
Yeah. You said there weren't too many other families down there, but were there other children in the neighborhood that you hung out with? And if so, who were they?
There were just a few, but we became good friends, and we did everything together.
Okay. Normal kid stuff, like just playing baseball and tag and all that kind of stuff.
And played ball and,
Yeah.
and horseshoes and
Okay.
hide and seek, and that's it.
Okay. You mentioned you have 2 older brothers.
2,
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about them?
yeah. My older brother was 6 years older, and my younger brother was 4 years younger than me, and then my sister was younger.
Okay. And they grew up down there as well, and
Yeah.
and went through the Selkirk schools and everything as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Talk a little bit about what your father did when he settled down in South Bethlehem. I believe he ran a lumber mill, or
Not right away.
okay.
What happened is he chopped wood to make a living, and most people in those days had wood stoves and wood furnaces, so he chopped wood enough to survive. And then at night he had a watchman and job at Calnan Road Improvement Company in Fair Bush. They had a satellite office there, quarry there. And one night he got his hand caught in a conveyor belt, and he lost parts of 3 fingers, a thumb and 2 fingers. But the surgeon apparently did a very good job because he had good range of motion and he was able to write. And that was so important to him because he's going to write a lot when he went into business.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And then after that,
Well, I was going to ask. So, how old would you have been when that accident happened, and how old would he have been? Do you think?
how old was?
How old would he have been when that accident took place? Do you think?
In his 30s.
Okay, all right. So, but he had not. He was still doing
Yeah,
the wood
chopping wood.
and
Mhm,
working the
mhm.
security job.
Yeah, and while he was recuperating, someone had given him a book on lumber, and he thought it was interesting, so that's how he started the lumber company.
Talk a little bit about that, because you get a book about lumber, and then did he have a sawmill? Was he
Yeah,
able to obtain
yeah,
a sawmill?
we had a sawmill, and he did rough lumber, plain, and we did ties for the New York Central Railroad at that time, and we did beams. He did beams too, and they were all 2, 4, 6, and 8, 2 by 4s, 2, 4, 6, 8,
Mhm.
and
So this would have been when, up in the 1940s or
He
approximately?
started in the thirties.
The business started in the
Mm-hmm.
30s, okay. And how long did the business last and run?
For the company,
Yeah,
about 40 years.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds as if your brothers and your sister, were they also involved in the business?
Oh, yes.
In what way?
My brothers, when they got out of high school, wanted to work with him, and so they joined my father, and then my sister was the bookkeeper, and I was a little secretary.
I'm assuming a lot of this lumber went to build some of the houses maybe in Delmar or
Oh,
in
yes,
Selkirk
oh,
or
yes,
elsewhere.
the area was growing.
Yeah,
And so there was a need for all this lumber, and it was a 6-day-a-week operation.
wow, okay. Pretty much everyone in the family was involved with this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was your mother doing at the time? Was she involved as well, or was she just taking care of everybody else?
Mother was always cooking.
Okay.
Well, you know, in Croatia, all the girls had to learn how to cook and make bread, because you don't go to the store to buy bread over there. In those days, you didn't buy bread over there. You had to make it. So mothers usually got up like 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning to make the bread for the day. And so when my mother came here and got married, she made a lot of bread and donuts and strudel,
Mhm.
things like that. So it was great.